Good morning, children. As we have completed our fifth topic, we will be entering into the next topic, that is reflection of light by plane surfaces. The reflection of light by plane surfaces. So, coming to this, first let us observe what is reflection. What happens when light falls on an object? Generally, when light falls on an object, depending upon the object, objects are classified into three types. Objects are classified into three types based on the nature allowing of light. Okay, the objects which allow light to pass through it, are called as transparent substances, which allow partially are called as translucent objects. Which do not allow are called opaque substances. So, when light comes from a source, this is our source of light, children. So, from here the light is coming. So, if here is a object, so this object, okay, allows the light to pass through it if it is a transparent substance. That means glass, water, air. Okay, all these are transparent substances which allow the light to pass through them. And sometimes these substances like soda glass, oil paper, all these are completely, they do not allow the light to pass through them. They are called as translucent substances. And if it is an opaque body, then what happens? It does not allow the light to pass, okay, to enter from one side and exit from the other side. Then we call such substances as opaque bodies. So these opaque bodies do not allow the light to pass through them. So what happens to this light? This light will be moving in the backward direction. Okay, the light energy, if it is not allowed to pass, then this energy will be going in the backward direction. So that moving in the backward direction is called as reflection. So when the light is not allowed to pass through the object, so the light will, from the source, all the light rays will be coming, and all these light rays will be coming over here. So this object will be forming its image over here. So it forms, okay, it forms its shadow over here. Shadow will be formed because the light from all the other region, it is coming over here, but this region is not falling. So this black spot is formed, a black colored spot. Black spot is formed because the light is not allowed to come to this region. Remaining all the region is illuminated, but this black spot, which is formed because of the opaque body, we call it as a shadow is formed. If when light from the source falls on an opaque body, this opaque body, since it is not allowing it, it sends this light rays in the other direction, and this light ray which is coming back on after falling the opaque body is called as reflection. This phenomena of light entering into the same medium after falling on the opaque body is called as reflection. This reflected light ray, and this is the light ray which is coming and falling on the object, and this light ray is called as incident light ray. The incident light, the reflected ray, incident ray, the light ray which is coming over here is incident ray, and the light ray which is coming back into the same medium from the after falling on the opaque body is called as reflected ray. Reflected ray we call it as, okay, reflected ray. So this incident ray, the reflected ray, and if we draw a perpendicular to the surface where this incident ray and reflected ray is falling, so we call that perpendicular line as normal. Any line perpendicular to the surface at any point we call it as normal. So this is the normal. The normal, the incident ray and the reflected ray lie on the same plane on the opaque body. Lie on the same plane on the opaque body. That is considered as the first law of reflection. Coming to the second one, the angle of incidence. What is angle of incidence? Angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. So, from the name itself, it is clear that it is something related to incident ray. Incident ray, something related to the incident ray. The angle related to the incident ray. So, what is called the angle of incidence? When a light ray comes from the source, from this source, light ray is coming towards the opaque body. When it falls on the opaque body, at that point, if you draw a normal, the angle that the incident ray making with the normal is called as angle of incidence. Let us say this is your source. From the source, you are getting a ray falling on the opaque surface. So this is your opaque surface. After falling onto the opaque surface, you are getting this is your incident ray, and this is your reflected ray. And if you draw a normal over here, this angle is called as angle of incidence, and the angle that the reflected ray making with the normal is called as angle of refraction. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of refraction. In all the situations, the angle of incidence will be equal to the angle of refraction. So, when light comes from the source and falls on an opaque body, it reflects into the same, the light will be sent back into the same medium called as reflected ray, and the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal lie on the same plane. Rays lie on same plane is your first law of reflection, and second one, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So that is your second law. So laws of reflection, these two points are called as laws of reflection. In the 6th and 7th standards, we have already studied that when light emitted from the source, when light is emitted, this light ray will be traveling in straight line. Light travels in straight line. We all know very well. So that is the reason, if light is falling on me, this light is not taking any curve. It is not bending, and therefore shadow is formed. if this light which is falling on me is able to take a curve, then it will go like this, and after that it would be able to travel. So in the case if it can bend and travel, it will never form a shadow, and therefore it is clear that light travels in straight line. And coming to the next important point is this light ray which is traveling in straight lines. We all know that all the light rays travel in straight line. Then we will see in our daily life, we will see our face in a small mirror. We are able to see a large construction could appear in a small mirror as a small image. How is it possible? So all these questions, all these matters we will be discussing in this point. So formation of image. Coming to the formation of image. How does the image form? In the mirror we are seeing our face. So is this really our face which is there in the mirror? It is not it is only the two-dimensional structure that you can see in the mirror. So in the mirror it appears that the left appears to be as right, right appears to be as left. We call that appearance of left appearing to be as right and right appearing to be as left as lateral inversion. What do we call it as? Lateral inversion. Lateral inversion. Why the images are laterally inverted in the mirrors? Why the images are large, constructions can be seen as small images in our mirrors? What happens in case of a plane mirror and the other mirrors? All these situations we will be discussing in this topic. So coming to the formation of image by a pinhole camera. Formation of image, if we want to see the image formation, so we will understand how this image is formed in a small image is formed in a mirror. So in order to understand, we will consider a pinhole camera. So it is nothing, it is a simple activity that you can do in a dark room. So in order to do this, we will be sitting in a dark room. So let it be a dark room. This is your dark room. So we will cover one side completely with a cardboard sheet, and we will put a small hole which is opposite to the tree outside your house. It is placed in such a way that the point is far from this, and we will put a small hole over here. So when light from the source is coming over here, the light coming from the tree will be falling, the light ray which is coming from the top of it will be falling will be traveling straight and falling over here, and the light ray which is coming from the bottom will be falling over here. So if we observe these two light rays which are coming from the top and bottom, so the light ray which is coming from the bottom will be falling over here, and which is coming from the which is coming from the top falls over the bottom. So this is inversion. Inverted means upside down inversion, and this type of inversion we call it as vertical inversion. Vertically inverted. Vertically means top as bottom, bottom as top. Lateral means left side as right side and right side as left side. So this sort of figure will be formed we will observe in the activity. So we call this as pinhole camera. A camera, pinhole camera, the old pinhole cameras used to work on this principle of light travels on straight line. So using this we can determine this activity. Thank you.